to hop back in, you can start your recording if you haven't already.
Yeah, just started it up.
So, you guys left off the end of last game with some time to ask a couple questions, and also you spoke to the other librarians before the end of last game, and you met a drow from your own time, interestingly enough, Vizier and Devere, and he essentially told you he was here for the same reason, looking to find out information about the demon lords, and subsequently offered to collaborate with you if you wanted to, saying he was working on a solution or a plan that could result in a solution. So he is in the library and doing his own research. When you guys are ready, you can seek him out once, twice, as many times as you want. He did have a pretty nasty looking bodyguard, but other than that, you guys had discussed quite a few questions that you wanted to ask, so I am going to essentially turn the necessity of going back and forth to the rooms off, but that way you guys can essentially ask the questions you need to. As I said, time doesn't work the same in here. You don't need to necessarily go back and forth, limit your questions. So in terms of how many per day for this our third session in Gravenhollow, if you guys want to just go through the questions you may or may not have, we can get you any answers if there are, and we can go for that. So from there, I'm going to leave it up to you guys. What is it that you want to do?
I'm just reading through the other questions right now. Just trying to remember what we all came up with.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it makes sense to go through the questions first, and then once we think we have as much knowledge as possible, then choose a course of action.
I really like the question that you post, Alex. We should what's the deal with the drow? that
Yeah, right.
What's up with that guy?
He has a strange history of befriending adventurers and then ritually summoning demons to kill them. Oh,
huh?
Good to know.
Ben, that's another good one. The how many of which demon lords specifically are currently walking on the material plane? Because we don't actually know that.
Yeah.
If that's going to be a really long list for them to say out loud, I'm going to be very concerned.
Okay.
Let's see. So we got a past question and a present question.
I suppose for the future question, and this is really more for spirits, this would be more something she would be mainly concerned with, is that even if we get the exact location of the maze engine, would the beholder actually be holding? Would he actually hold up his end of the bargain and keep his promise to release her family? I mean, it's more of a selfish question, but it's more than one that she's kind of interested in. That's
okay.
probably not going to be of much use.
Well, we found out that asking questions about the future is not necessarily the most productive use of our time anyway.
That is true. Yeah.
So I think hey, if we got them, and we're probably not going to ask too many other future questions. I'd say absolutely, let's go for that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I would like to do this real quick before you guys get too deep. I thought you guys did an exceptional job of essentially chatting and making plans for the questions.
Mm-hmm.
So at the start of the game, I wanted everybody to add on a inspiration point That way you
Yay.
have that as a reward. I will put it onto Roland's.
So, now I have 3.
Holy shit, you should spend those.
I probably should, yeah.
Like burning a hole in your pocket.
You can hold up to 3, but you can't get more, so if you earn more later, it's just wasted.
Now here's a question,
Yeah.
Tony. Is there not a often underused rule where players can give other players their inspiration?
That is true. You can. The only caveat I apply to it is I prefer it to be situational.
Yeah.
So, like, if
Yeah, not just like, oh, here's inspiration for no reason, but oh, that thing you did was really cool. Here's my inspiration. You deserve it more than I do.
Correct. You can do that, or you can even say, Agile Smoke is making a death save and fails it, and you want to say, I want to let him use one of my inspirations. You can do that as well. What I don't like is people just to say, here, every time I get an inspiration, you can have it as like a deal to work something else out.
Yeah.
I'll give you an inspiration now if you don't backstab me later.
Yeah.
Well, did you guys have a preference? You guys don't necessarily need to order it in one per day.
Let's say I don't.
So I'll let you guys figure out which question you want to start with.
Well, why don't we start with that? Like, I'm just looking at the list we got here. Just go down the list. So, Ben's first question. Exactly how many? Well, go for it, Ben. It's your question.
Yeah.
So the first question is exactly how many demon lords are there, and how many of them are on the material plane now?
Okay, those are separate questions. Are you wanting to know the entire list of the demon lords in existence?
No, more like how many of them are currently on the material plane as of this moment?
Yes,
Okay.
that's a good question.
So how many are on the material plane roaming free? Do you want the caveat as a result of the events that you're investigating, or just any demon lord? I'm fine with either. I'm just wanting to know what you're wanting to know.
Well, that would be something I would want to discuss with the group here. Are we looking at stuff we're currently investigating, or is just in general?
Would there be a demon lord?
I'm intrigued by the possibility of other demon lords that are just vibing on the surface world.
Because as far as I know, to recap, what we know of Demogorgon, Zugamoy, and Grazit for certain.
Nice.
These are the ones that we have either actively seen or have either are or have been on the material plane. We've heard of Yeenoghu and Jublex, so the possibility of those two also being on the plane can't be ruled out. But whether or not they actually are, we don't know that.
We don't know that yet.
Yeah.
Theoretically, like the last time it's known that Demon Lord walked on the material plane, Knowles got created, yes?
Yeah, that was Yeenoghu, I believe.
Right, so the idea that more Demon Lords are walking outside of what we're investigating would be highly unlikely. No?
That's a good point. I mean, I don't know much about demon lords, but I understand that the presence of one warps reality. It pretty much messes with the bounds of reality. So the more demon lords out there on the material plane means more reality is just kind of basically getting messed. And I don't know if this is because of the fact that we're in Gravenhollow, but reality right now seems more or less fairly stable. So I can only assume there aren't very many, aside from what we've encountered thus far.
Let's go with the first version. How many Demon Lords are currently on the Prime Material plane?
On the Prime Material plane, you guys receive flashes of visions. So, let's see, quite a few visions. I'll let you guys if you choose to take notes. So the first vision you get is a vision of Zuktmoy's arrival. And it's a past vision that flashes you back to a cavern of familiar but peculiar beauty, a little more beautiful than when you were there, opens up before you with the lights of every color shining in the pure essence of life, diffused and amplified by the fungal growth spreading phase res all around. The glow pulses, and you can feel the life of the cavern rotting away and bursting of infection. There's a mushroom growing in the center of this cave, larger and larger, almost as if you're watching the past and fast forward. Pustules forming and seeping as its stem thickens and the cap almost touches the ceiling. Two myconids, familiar to you, approach the site, not minding the carpet of the rot under their feet, and you sense their minds come alive in wonder as they kneel in worship, and you know, though they don't, that they are doomed. And a voice sounds out from inside the cloud of spores that starts to fall like snow, and the voice tells the myconids as it steps from inside this fungal tower to prepare for a gift and a ceremony unlike they have ever known. And that is what you witness. It was the arrival of Zuktmoy in Neverlight Grove. The next vision, as it flashes, by the way, this is going to be a long, you guys asked a fairly long question, so
It's okay.
so you know.
Yeah, but
The next vision is again familiar to you as a familiar looking deep gnome with melting skin similar to wax is spurned by others of its kind as he weeps and wanders the dark tunnels, talking to the things that crawl and ooze along the walls. You see him adopt two slick patches of ooze as his children, sensing innate power. He plays with them as if they're his children, naming them Princess Ebenmeyer and chasing them farther and further from the edges of civilization. And he seems to bond with them, but something changes as the oozes flow away, the deep gnome chasing them, fearful to ever be alone again. And you see a great hunger well up inside of him. His experiences, he experiences visions that pass into your visions. So you are seeing inside of his head, showing you what appears to be a paradise to him, but an oozing nightmare that you have seen before. The great hunger speaks to him, his already broken mind, a shield against that hunger's shattering power, where it would damage your minds. His damaged mind is protected from it and accepting of it. The power seems to recognize and acknowledge something inside of the gnome is broken and can be used. This great hunger named Juiblex and its power grant this gnome the ability to command the oozes, the little hungers, the children, and so they can return to the place that cast him out and devour it all.
So that was the
All right.
Pudding King.
The Pudding
Yep.
King. That is how the Pudding King came to know Juiblex, and how Juiblex found his servant.
Avatar.
Demogorgon, you've already been familiar, so I will skip over that one. There is another one. In the heart of an alien-looking cavern that is glistening with a different kind of slime, a purple slime, you see scores upon scores of mind flayers. They are gathered around an enormous brain resting in the pool. The brain is dead.
Oh,
You hear the Illithids' incomprehensible thoughts flooding around between each other, flitting in as they mourn the passing of its great community brain, Cyrog. Suddenly, the phase res bathes this dark and twisted hall in purplish light as a hawkish, horned figure steps through, reeking of putrescence. It raises a skull-tipped wand and points it at the dead elder brain. The elder brain begins to pulsate again with intermittent flashes of green and purple under its rotting flesh. The mind flayers are shocked when they see the elder brain speak to them again. And the words of the elder brain shock through your experiences to the point of translating clearly into your vision. And it is telling the mind flayers that it, and by transference, they now serve Orcus, the demon lord of undeath. Let me start sending you guys some pictures here. There's
All right,
four.
just 4. That's it. That's okay. Just 4.
I'm not done.
Uh-oh.
Ah!
Oh, no!
That's not good.
I just
4 is-
want to send you some pictures because you don't want to miss out on any. Let's see if I can. I'll send you the pictures as I go through them, but I'll send you the 4 that I've gone through so far.
Good. Okay.
You don't want to miss Demogorgon. That's not my favorite picture of him. That's the one you're going to get. All right, so those 4, and as Adra is happy it is only 4, another vision first shifts upon you with the smell of blood filling your nostrils as you wander a maze of underdark tunnels. You're moving as if you are a creature, moving with the purpose. As you look down, you see your great hooves crush the stone. The light of phosphorescent reveals your shadow as monstrous, suggesting that you are a hulking beast with a crown of horns. With your bloody glaive, you carve a swath through the forest of Zerkwood mushrooms that stand in your way. The tunnels beyond you would confuse a normal mind, but instinctively you know the path you must walk, and every step brings you closer to a magma-filled chasm you have set as your destination, lodged inside an enormous contraption of metal and stone. Some strange engine you seek out for your own purposes.
Oh no.
Maze engine.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
How do you pronounce that name?
Baphomet.
Baphomet.
Yeah.
And your vision swims again as another vision. A hunched and rotting creature with the head of a fiendish hyena, having walked this prime material plane again previously, is happy to return, swinging a triple-headed flail at a beholder. As the eye rays strike your flesh, you crush it in one blow. As the eye tyrant falls to the floor, a pack of hyenas leap upon this corpse, tearing its eye stalks. The demon lord licks the blood off its weapon. As the hyenas feast, you notice their bones crack as they are transformed into gnolls. Once again, your vision swims as you are made aware of a statuesque looking demon lord who is strolling through the markets of Menzo Berenzan in the guise of a drow, purchasing things, but as he hands over the gold coins, they taint the receivers as they touch them, infesting their minds with lust to proceed to greater and greater depths of depravity. As you flash forward, you see these holders of coins compelled to spend them before they move forward, passing them on and spreading the lust and damage and destruction. And once again, your vision swims as the last vision takes over. You see a strange gargoyle-looking creature. This creature seems to be almost translucent. It is massive, but its form is ghostly as it floats through an unknown caravan, whispering deception and deceit in the ears of creatures. You stole this from him. You must hide it, he tells one, telling another that they covet your wife, proceeding to use jealousy and deceit in tandem. And in short order, the merchant's caravan is awash in violence as they slay each other, trusting in the deceptions of this ghostly demon lord. And after all 8 of these visions, you fade back into the archives in the Stone Giant libraries, considerably shaken for the answer to the question.
Just 4? That's no problem. It's fine.
No, 8.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Well, we certainly got our work cut out for us. Yep.
It's impossible to. It's impossible.
It would probably require the assistance of some type of experienced mage. But what other questions do you have? Because you do have quite a few questions that you guys wrote up here.
Where is Andrew Harpo when you need him?
Well,
He's back!
I kind of want to jump ahead real quick, knowing what we know now about Menzo Berenzan.
Yeah, maybe we should nip that one in the bud as soon as possible.
Well, but
they may not be there anymore.
That's true.
So what about Ophelia?
Yeah.
Like, is Ophelia okay?
You guys are granted a short, concise vision of Ophelia using deception magic. Believe it or not, she had the feat. I can't remember what it was called. I don't know. Worked out perfectly, but her feat that she took was actor. So she can mimic the speech of another person, and she gets advantage on doing that. And she is under the effect of magical deception as a drow operating in and around Menzo Berenzan to the benefit of Bragandy Earth.
She is in a dangerous position. no more dangerous, really. Well, it was already very dangerous anyway.
I'm sure our Queen of Friendship is rooting a lot of loyal allies to our cause, so I'm sure she'll be just fine.
I was going to want to know about how Dawnbringer ended up in the Underdark, but to pale now in. Actually, no. Maybe learning about how it got to Underdark might even lead us to other things we could use in this impossible mission we have.
So you're asking about how Dawnbringer ended up here?
Ended up in the Underdark, yeah.
It's actually not a particularly exciting story, but you don't get the full story because the Stone Giant Library has almost exclusively to do with the Underdark. And the Lost Tomb, there where you found the sword Dawnbringer, was originally apparently turn that down. It was originally a tomb of a half elf sorcerer, sorry, Brysis of Kareem, and it was a floating tomb that you can tell, but you don't know what happened. Something happened that caused this tomb from the dream world above to cease to be able to float, and it plummeted into a crevasse that fell deep into the Underdark, and as it did fall deep into the Underdark, it was claimed or attracted a number of ancient civilization nomads who had moved into the Underdark from Chult as their civilization that worshipped them diminished. They traveled into the Underdark before settling in a cavern upon the ruins of this fallen tomb. They established their own tomb, an almost final resting place for their deities, as their deities no longer had the worshippers necessary to sustain life. And Dawnbringer found itself in a tomb, fallen from the sky into the Underdark, and then that tomb had a larger tomb built around it. It was double entombed, both by first Brysis of Kareem and then the ancient civilization of of the Cholton religions.
I mean, that is extremely valuable for me to know. My father actually, that it was his belief that it was one of the floating, either a part of a floating city or a part of it was its own floating construct. That when magics failed from that time, it would have fell. And he did believe that it would have been found, so it likely fell into into the Underdark. Yes, the whole secondary part about it, the rest being built on top, he would didn't. It does not help us right now, though.
Well, hold on. Because if Dawnbringer is going to be pertinent, Dronga doesn't know that word. If Dawnbringer is going to be important in defeating these fucks, I'll turn and I'll look at the. Can't remember the freaking guy's name. The guy who gives us the visions, anyways. And say, are there other weapons that we could have that would assist us in defeating these demons?
That isn't so much a question about something that has happened or is currently happening. That's more of a future
Okay.
question, and unfortunately, the future is shut off to you guys mostly.
Okay, so let me rephrase it then. Let's see.
Actually,
We actually have a question about that. Yeah.
yeah. Is there any magic item, artifacts, or weapon in the Underdark that have been known or have been used in the past against powerful demons?
You ask your question and receive no vision or answer, either as a negative
Yes.
or as too broad,
Okay.
or any number of other reasons that could have denied that vision.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
fair.
Okay. Is there someone that we have met that would be helpful in defeating the demons?
That question gives you two visions. The question first gives you a vision of the present inside the library of the Archmage Vizier Devere.
Uh-huh.
He is making a list of ingredients.
Is he checking it twice?
Not yet. He's still making it. So once he does it, he will probably check it and then check it a second time.
Damn.
The second vision
Must be called Santa.
sends you to a specific area of the library, and it is actually an echo that suggests to be useful. It is in the lower reaches of the library, and it is an extremely, extremely old dwarf searching for something or someone.
We've met him.
Extremely old.
And with that, those two things visions given to you, you are forced back into your own bodies.
It's actually just Dronga, but from the future.
What?
It's only Dronga and Vizerin that can save the world.
Oh my god.
Who was that dwarf though? Not Dronga, come on.
No, it's not me. We don't all look the same. Fuck.
Wow.
I guess we won't know
Well,
until we
we
go
should
and find
find
out for
him.
ourselves.
Maybe after our question.
I think the veer is the right first step though.
Yeah.
We could ask that question about his past? Or is that too invasive?
No.
No.
It's a good question. I think. I don't know. He probably has already done the question for us. Like reverse, you know. No?
Yeah.
I can't wait for that one to be thrown back in our faces.
Could we ask about not necessarily his upbringing, but how he came to find out about us? And maybe that would give us an inkling of what information he was wanting.
I think generally getting his history would be good, and they would include. But also, if he has a habit of killing tabaxi, then no go. Or dwarf or
Yeah.
changeling
Yep.
or furbolg, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, we asked this question. What is the history of?
Not the full history.
Yes. What is the
Oh.
history of drow mage name who I forget, but Smoke probably would not
Zvir-
forget.
Zir. Shit.
Vizrin Devere.
Thank you.
Vizrin. God damn it.
In my question, I wrote Disveer for some reason. I guess I morphed it.
That's what I keep calling him too.
Vizier and Devere.
God dang it.
Vizirin.
Vizier
That's
and
right.
Devere.
Yeah,
So,
that's what I said. I say. Lying.
Watch this guy get born. Watch his entire
so you
life.
do receive a vision primarily focused on the major parts of his life. He was born in Menzoberranzan to a house Devere, a powerful house in Menzoberranzan. He studied the arcane arts alongside another powerful drow archmage, Gromf Bainray, Bienray, depending on your pronunciation. After a short time, just shortly outside of their training at the actual Menzoberranzan Magic Academy, Gromf Bainray, his rival, discovered that Vizirin did not worship Loth. He was a devotee of the Elder Elemental Eye and an opponent of the Matriarchal Society of Menzoberranzan and Loth, and essentially used this information to engineer his disgrace and exile as an unbeliever. Shortly thereafter, his house was destroyed. But as he was exiled, he was not killed in the destruction of his house. Essentially, he is as an exile, he grew in power, learning from any number of other drow cities. He learned from some creatures from the surface. He learned from deep gnomes and many other creatures. He studied arcane arts from some Elithids. He grew in power to become a very powerful archmage, and he did build a base of operations. As your vision attempts to take you there, it actually blocks you. But interesting to some of you, unrelated to this, but it shows Vizier Devere actually pouring his magic essence into the crafting of 4 very powerful magic items near the surface in the service of the Elemental Eye. Iron Fang, a powerful earth aligned war pick. He also crafted Drown, an extremely powerful trident, water aligned. He crafted Wind Vein, an extremely powerful spear aligned with the element of air, and Tender Strike, a powerful dagger aligned with fire. And upon crafting these, he left them inside of a fallen dwarven fortress to be discovered by servants of powerful elementals. He was the crafter of these powerful artifacts. And after that, he retreated back into the Underdark and acted as a member of the Council of Spiders. The Council of Spiders essentially being an organization of male and female drow wizards who were working to overthrow Loth's domination of the Matriarchal Society of Drow. He wants to bring the Drow to no longer worship Loth. And
a noble cause if there ever was one.
This guy gave us This guy's the cause of our problems from the first campaign.
Yeah.
Bastard.
that's actually in the story of Princes of the Apocalypse, but it's never available for players to find out.
That's hilarious.
But yes,
And now we
Vizier
know.
Devere is mentioned by name in the Princes of Apocalypse as the crafter of those powerful artifacts.
And yeah, and then there's like literally no chance that you would ever know about that. That's hilarious.
Mm-hmm. But I thought some of you would enjoy that, having dealt with face to face with those weapons.
Yeah.
And with those followers.
This is true.
But so he has made powerful weapons in the past with a purpose in mind, and I do not know anything about the elemental eyeball, but surely not connected to demon lords, no?
Probably not. Or at least not as an immediate of a threat as the demon lords that are already, walking around. I hope.
And that last part is very significant, I think. He is part of a group that wishes to overthrow the Drow patriarchy and matriarchy, and find a balance or whatever. But so he has stake in the Underdark. He does not wish the demon lords to destroy everything. This is a real opportunity, I think, with him, and perhaps work with him.
I should probably just go back to being how I was when I first met him then. Given all of that stuff we found out.
Wait, how were you the first time? I forget.
Like this. But then you said, oh wait, don't forget, you're a drow. And I said, oh yeah, I remembered. And then it was, probably the wrong move.
Yes, maybe, yes. Yes. He's very powerful. He might have been seeing through your disguise the whole time.
Uh-oh.
Which is fine, it's fine.
So, do we ask him how to get random weapons? Or do we get him for more?
One moment, let me just find my note here.
I think just talking to him there.
He gave us a name to look into.
Severe?
Yes. He said we need to look into Menzel Baranzan and Archmage Gromf Bairn. Banry?
Bayenray.
Bayenray.
Bayenray, yes, the ruling house of the Baranzan.
Yes. And also that we should compare notes in his room, which is in the eastern hallway.
Yeah, isn't that the guy who we work for? Isn't that his brother? Or father? Uncle? He's related.
I don't.
Same last name, no?
We wouldn't know Durlac.
Oh, alright.
I think. I think that's a known fact, but maybe not a well-known fact.
I wouldn't call it a well-known fact.
Retract my previous statement. Drawn, please.
I cast Unsay.
All right.
I mean,
yes.
yes. Next question. Well, okay, so we could check on that right now. We could. What is the current? What is Gromf Bienry currently up to?
Currently? I'm just checking to make sure I understood your question.
Yep. Thinking.
Think it over. Take your time.
Maybe not. right this second we get a vision of him just sitting on the John or something.
I was like, oh, he's sleeping. No.
Okay. How about
I'm fine
What
with it.
is,
I'm just curious.
what is Graf Bienri's connection to the demon incursion?
There you go. Yeah, generally when the DM says, "Are you sure about?"
Well, no, that wasn't one of those. I'm happy to give you the answer, but they're two different answers, so I need to know which one you wanted.
It was.
So-
I can read between the lines.
What is currently doing?
So, in answer to that question, you are flooded with a vision of a chamber with a summoning circle carved on the ground. An impetuous drow arc wizard in spider silk robes is in the middle of the casting of a extremely complicated conjuration spells. He is interweaving his own use of the arcane magic, drawing from the weave, as well as interweaving the web of phase res. And you see something that the Archmage does not see. You see a third stream of magic. Those of you who are not magically inclined are shocked with this interesting sight that is hidden from your eyes on a normal basis. The arcane wizard pulling from the weave, mixing it with magic pulled from the phase res, and a third stream subtly interweaving with this magic. This web of energy is multicolored, but you can detect the color of the third stream tainting the magic as the wizard begins to bring his casting to its conclusion. You see that the web of magic expands beyond the circle on the ground. The wizard's eyes enlarge in alarm. His efforts to complete the spell seem to be growing much more crazed. Even those of you who have been around Kosturkis know that as frantic as the young small kobold is, his casting somatic hand motions were never without discipline, lest the magic simply not work. This Archmage seems to grow more frantic and crazed even as he realizes that the spell has expanded beyond his circle. Something has magnified it. And then, as you see, the magic completely yanks out of his control and all hell breaks loose. 8 rifts open around this web of energy, all of them interconnected with this third stream. These cracks in reality stretch and widen, and through them come 8 horrific fiends that shriek, scream, roar, and howl as they are not welcomed into the prime material plane, but wrenched out of the abyss against their will and thrown into the Underdark. And as this happens, there is a melodious, but at the same time, scary, deep, dark laugh echoes in the drow's mind as the third stream of magic is cut off from the spell as it shrinks away. And the demonic horde he has unwittingly released, that laughing voice echoes in his mind as he activates a number of contingency spells, teleporting himself far away from the damage to Menzo Berenzan and the Underdark that is now taking place, as he essentially forced 8 demon lords into the prime material plane.
Oh, so that's why they're so mad.
Okay. That's a hell
To
of
be
a thing.
fair,
Go ahead.
I think they'd be pissed anyways. They'd still be wreaking havoc. Regardless.
You know, that's true. You're right.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they'd be killing us with kindness instead.
I doubt that, but you know, we'll go
Yeah,
with it.
no. No. You think Devere knows?
Maybe, I mean, why else would he tell us name? But we should ask. And Graf Bienri could be key to stopping all of it. It was his spell that brought them, maybe.
Send him back?
But that third aura, that third power, what was that?
Oh, he's crazy?
No, there was something else. That's maybe made him crazy, but something else was involved. The laugh.
There was definitely a third party involved on that, yeah. Question is who and for what reason?
You think he maybe made a deal with another demon lord? Bring these here?
There's not many other demon lords left, I don't think. I mean, how many could there be?
Well,
What if it was a devil?
more than I thought.
Maybe devil, yes. Or
It could.
you know, it's curious. I do not know if this is connected or not, but so he summons many demons. He is a follower of Loth. He did not summon Loth.
Would Loth herself
Though
be
she, yeah, I don't know if she is demon or not,
No.
technically. I do not know.
I'd have some knowledge of like the Underdark religions and whatnot. Would I know if Loth is a lord or just a religious figure?
So here's the thing. Loth, what Loth is one of the hotly contested arguments across hundreds of years. Is she a demon lord? Is she a deity? She can grant divine magic like a deity, but she does not reside in the upper the planes. She did. She was originally a member of the Seldarine Hand, which is the pantheon of the elves. So at one time, she was a deity. But she resides in the abyss with the demon lords controlling layers of the abyss. Some say she's a deity banished to the abyss. Some say she's a demon lord. The difference between a demon lord and a deity is a deity has what's known as a divine spark, which ties them and their power to their worshippers, and that allows them to grant magic. Some say she's both. Some say she's one or the other. Her ability to grant spells indicates a deity. Her ability to control a layer of the abyss suggests a demon lord.
So it wouldn't be too out of the ordinary to suggest that she might have had a hand in this to begin with.
One of the things that the demon lords love to do is pretty much the only thing they really do is fight over layers of the Underdark. Or I mean the abyss. That's all they want to do. They fight over They take over each other's, like Juiblex and Zuktmoy. They both reside on the same level of the abyss, constantly fighting for control of it. But Thanatos, there was an incident hundreds of years ago where Kiran Sali, a drow goddess, killed Orcus, the demon lord of undeath, and took over a layer of his layer of the abyss called Thanatos. And he came back and tried to take it back. So it's fighting over territory in the abyss is one of the top activities of demon lords. So no, it is not unheard of for a demon lord to try to get another demon lord out of the Underdark. Fraz Blue was actually trapped on one of the prime material planes for 300 years, at which point he lost all his territory in the abyss until he was freed. And then he took it back over.
So, if she is part deity and part demon lord, maybe she might want to help defeat them? Can we find out what Loth is doing right now?
You can try.
Well, wait. The idea of doing that is not a bad idea, but we do not know how powerful she is. Would she be aware of us looking?
That is a good point.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible, but if she thinks or if she becomes aware that we're looking into her, she could probably tell that we're already thinking about her.
That would be well. If that's if maybe. We could do it. I think. Like it almost is against the point. We're talking about gods and demon lords and their games. I think that we can never have a full effect on any of that.
No, but it's possible.
Okay, ask a question. Let's see.
What is Loth doing right now? Loth?
As you use the channel, the crystal, you channel and you are shown a vision. You behold that which is worshipped and rarely seen, the true form of the demon queen of spiders, that of a black, bloated arachnid with the head of a drow female. I'm going to send a picture in Discord for you. Send it in a minute. This creature is nestled in the webs on the abyss. She is in the abyss, surrounded on her plane of existence. You can naturally tell the crystal imparts to you that she is on the demon web pits, her home base. I'm sending that picture in Discord for your enjoyment right now. Around her, nestled in the webs, are thousands upon thousands of pulsating gray eggs.
Oh damn, we're gonna need a bigger newspaper.
She is not on the prime material plane, but either because of the aforementioned divine spark, or because she's not actually on the prime material plane, she looks up directly into your eyes, and you realize right away she detects your scrying, and her fury is tangible and palpable as her mind rages out. She opens her mouth and releases a shriek of rage so powerful that it is only partially muted by the wards of Gravenhollow, and it echoes into your mind through the crystal, shattering the crystal and provoking a wisdom saving throw from all of you.
Great question, Dronga.
Hey, if anything, that is very on brand for her. Don't be rude.
Oh, all died.
Dumb ways to die. So
Really
many dumb ways to die.
Oh.
Anyways, if she wasn't on the material plane yet, she's definitely she's coming up now.
It's actually extremely difficult for demon lords to enter the prime material plane. Extremely difficult.
Well,
since Roland is here, though, let's not deny him a wisdom saving throw.
No, that's really nice of you to include him.
Yeah, it's only fair. Nice.
I love how I'm the only one who potentially failed mine.
On the upside, though, you guys are protected by the wards of Gravenhollow. Though they didn't completely block it out, it was very effective in muting it. Give me 1d10. Anybody. I don't care who.
Well,
okay.
Not you.
Ha! He said anybody.
Well, mine didn't register, so, hey.
So, for those of you who are... Let's see, that would be Indomitable Spirit and Dronga. You both are hit with extra oomph of this magic. Indomitable Spirit, you are stunned as all you can see. You are racked with visions of spiders devouring your flesh for 10 minutes.
Good.
Dronga,
10 minutes!
You get the exact same vision, except you are frightened but not stunned, and you spend the entire 10 minutes frantically running around, slapping your flesh, trying to get all of the spiders off of you to no avail. And the 10 minutes ends as you guys watch the flesh be stripped from your bones by this swarm of arachnids. As each bite they take a bite of your flesh, they grow in size. As you guys come back to yourselves, feeling your flesh has not been devoured, Dronga, you are in a completely different place, terrified, the fear subsiding, and Indomitable Spirit, you are coming back to reality. You thought you were dead, but you're not.
Yeah, Spirit just immediately reaches out for the closest available party member, clutches onto them, and just is I think I just developed a bad case of arachnophobia now.
Dronga just curls in on herself and starts rocking. And just goes, not fucking asking any more questions. Not fucking asking any more questions.
Well, we lost our crystal. I don't think we're gonna be able to do that anyway, so...
I don't think we know where Dronga is. Actually, you know what? Nyx probably would have followed her. As best as they could.
It fucking took off.
Yeah, Smoke would have followed her too, yeah. As long as Roland stayed with Spirit.
Alright. Losing your crystal, we'll call that. I mean, I will give you credit for asking that question last.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know?
Inspiration for asking that question last.
I mean, we could have. We could have asked more.
No,
However,
we got good.
Yeah.
Dronga's not very smart.
You
Yeah.
guys now have 2 leads on where and who can help you.
I think our best bet would be that dwarf. If it's just an echo, we don't know how long that's gonna stay around, right? But
Yes,
Vizarin
we
is
could start there, yes.
Vizarin is physically here with us in our time, so we can, if he leaves, we could theoretically find him somewhere later.
Okay, so let's try to find Echo. Where was it?
It was on the lower levels. Checks not being required. You can travel there with a few minutes.
Yeah, we collect the party back together and focus on that place.
Okay. You guys travel to the lower reaches of Gravenhollow. You do notice a little more buzz around the library. The library servants and inhabitants seem to be a little more active, having recently been wards been hit with a wave of magic. But they don't say anything to you. The library chose to let you in. But after a short travel, you find yourselves approaching an extremely old dwarf. White hair, leaning heavily on a shining silvery metal cane with a thick crystal at the top. He seems to be in the twilight of his life for a dwarf.
Excuse me?
He seems to be searching, as in your vision, and when you guys walk up, he looks up at you expectantly, as if you're here to tell him something.
Have we met?
When he sees you, specifically Adra and the party members, each of you, he looks to each of you. His searching becomes almost panicked, and he looks at you and says, "I found you. I've been searching this library for months in search of you. I am King Bruenor Battlehammer of Gauntlegrim. My younger self needs you. He calls a council to combat the demon lords.
Oh.
He does not know he needs you. I beseech you, go to his aid. Go to my aid to accomplish a mutual gain. The effect of these demon lords can be felt even on the surface now in your time."
Uh-oh.
Where do we find you?
There's a fading as he continues to plead with you to go to Gauntlegrim.
Don't
Lend
worry.
you aid.
We'll do it. I'm making an executive decision. I'm sorry. We're gonna do it.
It's a good choice.
Did anybody have anything you wanted to ask him before he fades away?
Nope.
Shit.
Alex just wanted to know where to find him, but he had to take Timmy out. But
Gauntlgrim is where he's beseeching you to go.
I'm pretty.
Yeah.
I think it will be pretty easy to find the king of Gauntlgrim if we go to Gauntlgrim.
Yeah.
Who did your hair?
Amazing.
And with that, the echo fades.
Well,
Okay, so we have two potential people we can ask. We can talk to the Archmage here, who's physically present now, or we can leave and go to Gauntlgrim.
Well, we could talk to the mage and then go to Gauntlgrim.
That's a good point.
yeah.
Why don't
Be
we
best.
Why don't we do that then? Since we can't, we have no more crystals, we can't search for any more visions or ask any more questions. I'd say
We could get another crystal.
Hey,
Can we?
hey. Just go up to Fuck, hang on. Do we go up to all? Hey, Althar, can we get another crystal? We kind of broke the last one by invoking the
Put your hand
rage of Lol directly.
Dronga just puts her hand up. I won't ask any more questions. Promise.
No.
So
Yeah, I
where are
really
you guys
should-
wanting to head?
We'll head to Vizarin's room in the Eastern Halls.
Okay.
Yeah, at least before we go to Gauntlgrim.
Mm-hmm.
Focusing your will, you find yourselves quickly traveling to the room of Vizirin and his bodyguard, who is apparently standing outside. And as you approach, he says no words to you out of his toad-like fanged mouth and simply opens the door.
Nyx knocks anyway on the way in. Hello?
Vizirin is working. He's got a bunch of scrolls and books lined up around him, and he's writing things down. And he waves you in. He looks at you guys over and doesn't say a word, just waits expectantly for you to start.
So, we did what you said and looked into your friend, I not friend, Gromf, I honestly cannot remember how to pronounce his name every time I say it. I don't know.
I'll stick with
Bienri.
Grump.
Bienri. And saw what happened there. Did you also do that? Just so we don't.
He lets us sneer. He says, "The fool Gromf brought the demon lords upon us with
Yes.
his vile demon queen pulling his strings all along. He's given Loth free reign in the abyss.
Uh-oh.
My own research led me to believe that Gromf used the phase res that was tainted knowingly or unknowingly by Loth. And I'm sure that wasn't what he intended. That makes him twice the fool."
Yes. A big ol' moron. We also we've also found some help, some potential help in the dwarves of Gauntlgrim. Apparently, they're getting together a crack team of experts. We got told this by a ghost.
He doesn't seem super excited about your reference to that, almost dismissively waving it away. He says, "I know what time and effort you want to waste with dwarves, but I can save you months of research. Time you clearly would rather spend with dwarves. The information I have found here have only confirmed my theories, and I know how to banish the demon lords back to the abyss.
Oh,
I have the information, but what I need is a few more weeks of research time and someone daring enough to gather the ingredients. Perhaps foolhardy would be a better word, but it needs to be done nonetheless.
well, daring and foolhardy are two sides of the same coin, and I think we've got plenty of both in spades.
I-
Spirit
What-
raises
I-
a finger as if to object, but then just kind of pauses, thinks back, like, no, that's a fair point.
I am willing to share my research upon its completion and the list of ingredients that I will need upon its completion. Since you seem determined to consort with dwarves, that will give me time. And when you are finished, you can meet me at my stronghold of Araj. Do you have a map? I will mark it for you.
That we do.
We do, yes.
He takes out his map, or your map, and he marks a point on it. And he tells you he is unwilling to discuss the details here, as these walls have ears and the echoes linger forever.
Right? Okay.
Give him a few weeks. Do whatever it is that you want to do in the meantime, and then meet me there, and we shall discuss a plan further, because I feel that I need you as much, if not more, than you need me.
Just looking.
Very reasonable, I say.
Now, if you don't mind, I have considerable amount of work to do.
Yeah, we'll, Nix looks at the rest of the group. I will get out of your hair, I suppose. Thank you. Oh,
I know I said I wasn't going to ask any more questions, but
okay, I think this one's fine,
Devere-
probably.
yeah, Devere, what would happen if you looked at a demon lord and what they were doing, and then they saw you?
Okay, maybe don't ask that question.
I presume you're referring to that wave of energy that struck the wards of Gravenhollow from the abyss.
Might be.
Maybe.
A familiar taint to it that reeked of loath. I assume you chose to try to scry upon a divine being. Unwise as that is, you now know the answer to the question better than I, because I would not be so stupid.
Like I said, both in spades. Haha, nice to meet you. Okay, thank you, goodbye.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Hangs her head and just walks out.
But is there anything else you guys want to do in Gravenhollow? There's lots of other role-playing stuff, but not a tremendous amount more information you can gain now that you've lost your crystal. There's lots of fun echoes you can encounter if you guys wanted to role-play. Not saying you should, I'm saying you could.
We could ask Uthar for another crystal.
Yeah, you guys already did.
That was the first thing we did was say, hey, Sup, King? Can we get another crystal? And they're like, we only give one of those out to guests. One at a
And we fucking broke it. I hope it wasn't a loner.
Well, not to mention the fact that we did call upon the wrath of Lothar, and they probably knew it was us that did that, so they'd probably be like, yeah, no, we kind of know what you did. We're not going to do that again.
You guys definitely cannot be trusted with this thing.
You guys are too stupid for these. Give that back.
For those of you who rather enjoy the role playing, I'll happily shoot you some general information. See, the other echoes that I have pulled up for you, you can meet a very young Illustrio,
Oh,
a Red Wizard of Thay, Elminster himself.
what?
Yo!
It's from the future. I'll send you the information in the Discord chat if you're kind of a lore buff.
The
Elminster fanboy.
I mean, that all sounds really cool. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if Spirit or Smoke would have any interest in like he would stop to talk to. Well, I don't even know if he would stop. Like, I think he'd probably recognize Elminster just on the description alone, unless Elminster looks different.
There's also, let's see, there's some stuff. Hagram, you guys didn't meet. There's a pretty good chance if you are or make effort to become friendly with the Stone Giants and Gracklestug, they actually have access to these stone speaker crystals. They could have given you one, and you, the leader of the Stone Giants, you can meet a past version of him where he was very young, trying to decide whether he should become tied to Gracklestug.
Grimhall.
But there's some of the lore stuff you can pick up. None of it's particularly tied to the story, but if you'd like, for the remainder of this game or before next game, you can level up to level 9.
Woo!
Whoa!
Hey! Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Man, I feel bad for Tanner.
Yeah,
Gonna be
doesn't
level
get to
8 or we're
up.
level 9? Oh,
Oh, shit. But experience is based on attendance.
Is it actually?
No.
Could you imagine? I mean,
Sorry, guys, my Dronga showing.
there's that was a thing in the past, in past versions of D&D, though. Not attendance based experience, but like parties being different levels from each other, right?
It was very much because second edition was when I learned to play D&D, and the way it worked was leveling up had a different amount of, like, as a fighter, you leveled up, you needed like half the experience of a thief to go up a level. So a fighter would be leveling up 2 and 3 times as fast
And
because they needed less experience to level up.
and correct me if I'm wrong here, but wasn't money, all like gold, also directly convertible into
Experience?
Yeah.
It kind of was. It was an unusual mixture.
Right.
They also had a weird thing that races had class limits. So like an elf could reach max level as a wizard, but a human couldn't. But a
Right.
human could become a higher level wizard than a dwarf. So like your race gave you a limit cap on specific classes. So a dwarf could be a higher level fighter than an elf.
Huh. Ain't that some shit?
So that doesn't.
But that was before stat bonuses and all that. That was kind of how they reflected cultural training, the way elves receive cultural training in magic, whereas dwarves receive cultural training in
Right.
fighting. It was,
Kind of like how there was like alignment languages. Like if you were good, you spoke the good language.
yes.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
So
All that went away with the end of second edition. But if you don't want to level up right now, you can wait till next game.
Yeah, I just did. I was just looking up because I was like, what I get for 9th level's unarmored movement upgrade, and
Nice.
I was like, oh right, I get the ability to wall run now,
And
run
also water run.
Yeah, and also water run. Yeah. So.
I mean, you could already wall run, kind of.
I mean,
So,
true.
if anybody, sorry, I'm clear my throat. If anybody needs help leveling up, I am available for that. But other than that, you are free to go live your best lives.
Nice.
Next game, I assume you guys will be leaving leaving Gravenhollow, but you don't have to. Like I said, you can roleplay as much as you want, but it's up to you.
The Underdark has far too many places that start with the letter G.
It really does.
It's like Gracklestug, Gauntlgrim, Gravenhollow. What? I'm sure there's more. I'm sure there's more that I can't think of right now.
There really are.
I think heading off to Gauntlgrim is the next logical choice. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think.
that makes sense to me.
Well, you do have some patronage that is going to make the travel quite easy. So you can expect to be in Gauntlgrim next time, and that's
Nice.
something that's going to become an increasing feature of your high level travels, is that you will be able to travel fairly quickly in some instances. But that's all I need from you. Have a wonderful night.
Fantastic. Thank you, Tony.
As well.
Good game,
Hey,
everyone.
Tony. Good game, guys. Sorry I fucked it up. Bye.
These things happen.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Have a good night. Animate objects, eh?
All right. Good night, everyone.
Yeah,
Night,
good
man.
night. Good luck.